Hi, I'm Claire Dillon, and I teach at a Catholic high school here in Annapolis, Maryland. We are a one-to-one iPad school and have been for the past 5 years. However, even after 5 years, our teachers are still discussing if this is an effective way to educate our students. So my literature review revolves around the one-to-one initiative and its effectiveness. Let's go ahead and get started. Albert and Sarah and Thomas Short, in their publication, An Analysis of High School Math, Science, Social Studies, English, and Foreign Language Teachers' Implementation of One-to-One Computing and Their Pedagogical Practices, as published in the Journal of Education Technology Systems, defined one-to-one as follows. One-to-one computing is a school environment in which each participating teacher and student is provided a wireless technology device to empower students with anytime and anywhere learning. One-to-one initiatives are growing in schools nationwide, increasing the portion of school budgets allotted for technology expenditures. Is this a trend that all schools can integrate and afford? Assuming schools make the commitment to fund one-to-one initiatives, is the one-to-one initiative effective? The literature review questions that I've attempted to answer are: number one, determine if the literature supports the effectiveness of increased learning, both in measured assessment and perspective, of one-to-one devices in grades 7 through 12. And number two, if the investment in teacher professional development, infrastructure, and hardware is worth the investment. My method for identifying potential sources for my literature review was to use the James Madison University Library online resources. Databases included the Academic Search Complete, Education Research Complete, and ERIC. Keywords included one-to-one classroom, one-to-one in high school, one-to-one technology in classroom, and one-to-one technology integration. To be included in the literature review, the articles had to be printed in a scholarly journal or come from a reputable source. I also did a Google search using the key term One-to-One Technology Initiative. This search identified reports published by the U.S. Department of Education and briefs and dissertations by doctoral students and published by respectable universities. The years included in my search range were from 1999 to 2018. This allowed me to see the growth of personal computer technology in schools to the present day. I synthesized the information by organizing my research in date order to see that growth of the one-to-one initiative through the years and the change in reported studies. As we have learned in Foundations of Educational Technology, technology has been used in the classroom as early as the 1920s with the introduction of the radio and instructional film. By the early 1980s, with the advent of the affordable personal computer, schools started to make the investment to place computers in school computer labs, requiring that teachers schedule time to bring their students to the lab if they wanted to use technology. Many times, these visits to school computer labs accomplished drill and kill software programs or teaching students computer-related skills such as keyboarding or word processing. At this time, there were few students who had computers at home, so the use of technology was restricted to school computer labs. Of the 146 articles screened, chosen for inclusion in my literature review were 6 research studies and 6 articles published in scholarly journals, 2 doctoral dissertations, 2 publications by the U.S. Department of Education, and 1 policy issue brief published by the University of Connecticut Center for Education Policy Analysis. My information was synthesized by analyzing it in date order to see the growth of this initiative. When schools started the initial implementation of technology in the 1980s, the cost of outfitting schools with technology was quickly realized. This included infrastructure costs such as electrical upgrades and networks to school buildings, IT staff to maintain the equipment, and teacher professional development. In addition to the cost of infrastructure, Schools also need to consider the cost of one-to-one devices and professional development, both an integral part of a successful one-to-one program. Professional development must occur all year long with a shift of focus from tool and applications to ideas for integration in grade levels and subject areas. Without quality professional development, schools are not likely to see significant changes in assessment results in a one-to-one initiative. Success of a one-to-one initiative is also dependent upon collaboration, clear expectations, modeling, and risk-taking. Topper and Lancaster note that at the school level, principals are particularly critical for implementing effective technology integration by teachers in a given building. This includes intense, sustained, teacher-focused professional development with opportunities for exploration, reflection, collaboration, work on authentic tasks, and engagement in hands-on active learning. One study, conducted in a high school located in a town of approximately 8,000 in an upper Midwestern state, used the second-generation model of activity theory to measure the impact of the one-to-one initiative. The second-generation model is used to analyze how a system, here a school or classroom, is shaped by interaction among its different components that result in observed behaviors. In this study, the one-to-one initiative was done with little input from teachers and no training at the outset of the implementation. The subjects were the 9th through 12th grade students and the teachers. The object was the content, class activities, and teacher assignments. The tools were the school-issued laptops. Using surveys of students, teachers, and parents, the authors found that students and parents had a more positive perception of the initiative than did the teachers. However, the teachers and students both saw their roles change in learning and studying content materials because of the one-to-one initiative. The shift drove the teachers' actualization of the philosophy of student-centered instruction. This is considered a positive outcome, as student-centered instruction is a 21st century skill that we are trying to achieve within our school systems. Another study, conducted on 1,129 7th grade students in two different northeastern states, was done to assess if a one-to-one initiative in schools specifically made a difference for the students to conduct online research and learn in science. In the study, one state had a one-to-one program and the other did not. The results of this study suggested that students in the one-to-one state yielded more positive results in the assessment of conducting online research and synthesizing information than students in the non-one-to-one state. Overall, however, both states had a low performance in the assessment, suggesting that there is still room for improvement in educating students with regards to conducting independent online research and critically evaluating online information in a one-to-one initiative. Finally, another study conducted in 2016 of one-to-one computing and student achievement in Ohio high schools used the Ohio graduation test as a basis for its measurement, along with student and teacher perceptions. 24 treatment schools were paired with a similar control school. The treatment schools used a computing device that was assigned to them, and they were able to take this home each evening. The researchers found that there was not an overall significant increase in scores by either the treatment or control schools, but the treatment schools did fare better in math, science, reading, social studies, and science. As data was further broken down, it showed that students using a netbook as their device showed significantly greater gains than those using laptops or an iPad. Results also showed that of the treatment schools, 5 showed consistently positive impact across multiple content areas, and another 5 treatment schools showed a consistently negative impact across all content areas, regardless of the device used, implying that there are other factors that influence the overall impact of a one-to-one program on student achievement. Technology plays an integral role in the lives of high school students, and there are no indications that this will cease. Based on the literature and studies reviewed, the one-to-one initiatives are making progress, although slowly in the preparation of today's students. The literature is inconclusive if one-to-one device initiatives support the effectiveness of increased learning. The findings are not consistent. However, there are many factors that contribute to the success or failure of one-to-one initiatives, and with more research being conducted and more schools adopting one-to-one programs, there is a much better pool of resources from which to draw than there were 10 years ago. The perception of one-to-one devices is positive. Technology can be integrated as part of the curriculum. However, for success, the program must be supported appropriately. That includes money for sustainable funding for the infrastructure, continued maintenance, upgrades and IT staff, professional development prior to implementation and ongoing for teachers and staff, as well as the creation of policies including user and parent agreements. In conclusion, the Reimagining the Role of Technology in Education 2017 National Education Technology Plan Update states that all students and educators have a one-to-one connected device by 2020, and that schools need to start making plans for funding this initiative. This initiative impacts every teacher and student across the United States. It is our responsibility as educators to ensure that today's students are prepared for the 21st century, and that includes ensuring that one-to-one initiatives in the classroom are successful. Thank you for allowing me to share my literature review with you today. I hope that you enjoyed it. Thank you.